Good evening, I'm Katerina Georgieva. This is CBC Windsor News. Thanks for joining us. Thousands of local auto workers are currently on an unwanted 2-week layoff because of auto tariffs. As they wait a return to work, our Jennifer LaGrassa met with 3 of them, each with very different levels of seniority at the plant. They shared how they are coping with the waiting and the wondering of what's next.
I'm in Stony Point right now, which is about a 40-minute drive from Windsor, and I'm meeting with a father and son. Both of them work at the Windsor assembly plant. They've been off now for 3 days. That's because Stellantis has decided to pause production at that plant for 2 weeks because of the auto tariffs. So let's go on in and see how they're doing. This family has been connected to Windsor's auto industry for 3 generations.
Well, I've always seen it as a good job. Like, my dad worked there, my grandfather worked there.
And now, so does Blaze. He just became full-time 7 months ago.
Seeing the opportunity to come up to work full-time, I left school and I took it because I knew it would be something I would be able to raise my future family with. I'd be able to buy a home.
But all of this uncertainty is throwing his long-term plans up in the air.
It's the life of an auto worker. It's up and down all the way through your career.
After working at the plant for more than 30 years, Denise says short-term layoffs like this aren't anything new.
We had 2008, we had the bankruptcy, we had COVID. We always come back stronger.
But he admits that this one feels different.
I don't know how long it's going to last. I'm a little upset and mad at it because, like I said, we've been building cars in Windsor for 100 years now in the Windsor assembly plant. We've had the relationship with the states for so long, sending parts across, they come back, they go back across, they come back. We're intertwined so much that to put tariffs like this on it is, to me, it's not a good move.
In Windsor, Derek Gungle feels the same.
It's been an emotional roller coaster for the last probably 4 months.
Despite the uncertainty, there's hope.
We know that at the end of the day, we're still going to have to build vehicles. So I know that we're going back to work.
But for the thousands of people who work in the sector, it's a question of when and how much damage tariffs will have done to the local auto industry. Jennifer LaGrassa, CBC News, Windsor.
The leader of the People's Party of Canada was in Windsor yesterday evening. Maxime Bernier spoke to a group of about 60 people at the Windsor Club, and Jacob Barker was there.
The People's Party leader Maxime Bernier spoke here at the Windsor Club. The hope was to counter the message being put forward by the Liberal and Conservative parties. At one point in his remarks here, Bernier took aim specifically at Pierre Poilievre's message.
Poilievre and the Conservative are fake conservative. They are conservative in name only. They are afraid to speak about conservative values. We are not. We are there for you, with you. That's why we call this party the People's Party of Canada.
The message here did contrast with messages from other campaigns, in particular when it comes to the trade war and tariffs, and that we shouldn't be retaliating with tariffs of our own.
We must not impose any counter tariffs. That's our proposal. Speaking about tariffs from President Trump, you know, yes, that will hurt our export in the U.S. And so what we must do, we must sit with him, having a deal right now, and a new deal by putting supply management on the table and having that discussion.
Bernier also spoke about their plan on immigration.
We cannot afford that. This country, economically, socially, and culturally, it's not working. We need to end that mass immigration. Canadians are ready for that. Let's speak about that together.
The party leader also showed support for candidates from the local ridings. Jacob Bezaire, a machinist running in Windsor West, says he's a former Conservative who now believes strongly in the PPC message.
The government's going to get smaller. The government's going to take less from you. What? How can it get better than that? This is the true People's Party.
The last election, the party received about 8 to 10% in the 3 Windsor-Essex ridings, beating the national performance, which was closer to 5%. The party says they hope that this time around they can capture more of a share of that vote and, of course, see one of its party members take a seat in Ottawa once a new government is formed. Jacob Barker, CBC News, Windsor.
Colette Kennedy is with us now for our first look at weather. Colette, a wet one today. How's it looking into the evening?
Yeah, just hour after hour. Started, through the last evening and through the overnight of light snow and then turning into kind of some light rain showers and then mist. So soggy out there. There are some milder temperatures in northern Ontario, so it does mean some of that Arctic air has receded, but certainly very cool readings we're experiencing. There's some sunshine to the north, and that's part of the reason you see it there. The temperatures are a little better, but we are getting this area of low pressure still spinning around with some mixed precipitation. We will generally have that kind of backing off and moving eastward, so it becomes drier, 1 degree overnight tonight, and then I think we're going to get into the sunshine tomorrow. We're going to be right on that line, and a high of 10 degrees expected, if so.
Okay, fingers crossed. Thanks, Colette.
You're welcome.
Up next, the city of Windsor is owning an error and offering a fix. CBC's Jennifer LaGrassa explains.
If you've been paying more on your wastewater bill, the City of Windsor says it's their mistake, and they're looking to credit homeowners. At the start of this year, the city said that it was revamping the stormwater and wastewater tax, promising that this new plan would help Windsorites save money.
The vast majority, 99.99% of homeowners in the city will see an overall reduction on their NWIN bill based on what they pay today once we implement this system.
But after receiving multiple complaints, he now admits that the plan didn't work.
This did not roll out the way that we had anticipated.
About 37,000 people have been charged more on their bill, according to the city. Dilkins says there was a technical error, but wouldn't say exactly what went wrong. Now, the city is preparing a new plan that will head to City Council on April 28th for approval. The mayor says homeowners can expect 100% credit dating back to January 1st, the start of the program.
So that we deliver on the promise that residential customers are going to see a decrease in the stormwater management fee on their bill because of the switch to this program. And so we're going to make it right, as we committed to do. I apologize that we didn't get it right out of the gate.
Once that new plan is in motion, Dilkins says they'll then figure out when homeowners can expect to see that credit on their bill. Jennifer LaGrassa, CBC News, Windsor.
Windsor police are investigating after at least 12 tombstones were damaged at a Windsor cemetery. CBC spoke with a staff member there about the situation and about the emotional impact.
A few weeks ago, we noticed that some of our headstones had been knocked over. The police have been reported, so they're fully aware that we have had vandalism in the cemetery. We have a care and maintenance fund that is provided when people set headstones, and that care and maintenance fund is there specifically to repair damages to headstones, whether it's due to vandalism or over time, and that's what's going to be used in this case to take care of the vandalism that was done here at the cemetery. We're trying to reassure everybody that's been affected that the headstones will be repaired, and we will do our best to fix what we can. We're at the mercy of nature right now to do the repairs. We believe it's about 12 to 15 stones that were affected, but we're going to be doing more investigating once the weather clears up. We're going to be able to take a tour of the cemetery and make sure that we locate any other problem areas that we might have missed in our initial assessment. People are upset, so that it's not only are you grieving when you bury your loved one, but now they're having to relive the trauma of having lost their loved one and having to deal with damaged headstones. Think about how you would feel if this was your loved one. It's a sacred place where people lay their loved ones to rest, and they're supposed to be at peace, and this is just senseless. There's just absolutely no rhyme or reason for it, and it's just disheartening for the families that are affected, and it's just causing grief and pain for somebody whose loved one's stone was disturbed.
U.S. tariffs, they remained in the world spotlight following Donald Trump's latest policy about face on Wednesday. The market's roller coaster ride was on a downward track, and there were new comments from the White House. Chris Reyes reports.
President Donald Trump fielded a lot of questions on the state of trade between the U.S. and its partners after he met with his cabinet this afternoon. This is the fallout after that sudden and shocking drop yesterday that Trump would be pausing reciprocal tariffs on most countries while upping tariffs on China. Today, the White House clarified that China will be facing a 145% levy on all its imports. 125% was announced yesterday, and the 20% that was already in place when Trump came into office stacks on top of that. The Chinese Foreign Ministry responded with another strongly worded statement, which reads in part, "Tariff and trade wars have no winner. China does not want to fight these wars, but is not scared of them. If the U.S. is determined to fight a tariff and trade war, China's response will continue to the end." Despite the escalation, Trump said he's open to talks with China.
We're resetting the table, and I'm sure that we'll be able to get along very well. I have great respect for President Xi. He's been, in a true sense, he's been a friend of mine for a long period of time, and I think that we'll end up working out something that's very good for both countries.
Trump's economic advisors have also said that negotiations with other countries are already underway, and the 90-day pause will be used to negotiate deals tailor-made to each trading partner. Some Democrats are reacting not just to the tariff pause, but the motivation behind it, calling for an investigation into possible insider trading because of this post from Trump, encouraging his followers to buy the Trump crypto coin. It was made just hours before he announced the pause on tariffs that saw a significant surge in markets.
The American people have a right to know that policy is being made only with their interests in mind and not the individual financial interests of people in the Trump administration or Trump family that figure out how to make money on the side hustle.
Meanwhile, the Trump team seems to be forging ahead with negotiations, saying that deals with at least two countries are almost ready to close. Trump also said that he won't rule out extending the 90-day pause. Chris Reyes, CBC News, New York.
And the trade war between the U.S. and Canada continues as well. But today, politicians from the two countries came together at the Ontario legislature. Premier Doug Ford welcomed the Republican governor of Utah. The governor says it is the first U.S.-led trade mission to Canada this year. Queen's Park reporter Lorenda Redekop has more on the visit.
From the great state of
Premier Doug Ford had a visitor at Queen's Park today, the governor of Utah. Despite the tariff war with the United States, he had a message of unity.
We know we will get through this. We know we will be stronger together.
He's a Republican who says he has a great relationship with the U.S. president, but sounds much different from Donald Trump when it comes to tariffs.
What I'm hoping for is that this episode will help remove trade barriers all over the world. I believe in the importance of free trade, again, especially with our Canadian partners.
He says his trip is the first U.S.-led trade mission to Canada this year, and it was scheduled before the trade war began. Cox is also touring a nuclear plant in Ontario this week. His state is interested in the small modular reactors being built here. The visit comes as the 25% tariffs on Canadian auto, steel, and aluminum levied by the U.S. president continue. The significance of this trip, according to Premier Ford?
I think it's huge.
He says he's trying to arrange visits from other governors as well.
It is critical. The governors have massive power down there, and the president does listen to the governors.
Ford was also back on U.S. cable news today. He was asked about the message from a member of Donald Trump's team that 15 countries are close to a deal on tariffs.
Is Canada one of those 15 countries close to a deal?
No, we aren't. It's ironic that other countries that do a fraction of our trade they're making a deal, but for one reason or another, President Trump doesn't want to sit down and make a deal with Canada as of yet.
On CNN, Ford said Canada is not involved in negotiations with the U.S., but he'd like to be.
We'll drop our tariffs tomorrow if President Trump drops the tariffs.
And today, for the governor's visit, Ford wore 3 pins side by side, flags of the U.S., Canada, and Ontario.
I want to show them respect and speak the truth. We do love our American friends. We totally disagree with the president right now.
But as Ford tries to make his case through the U.S. media and politicians, it's the president who makes the decision on tariffs. Lorenda Redekop, CBC News, Toronto.
Take a live look outside there on this very rainy Thursday, but Colette did tell us we have some sunshine on the way tomorrow, and the weekend is looking really good as well. Colette will be back later in the program to tell us all about that. But stay with us. After the break, we will have more federal election coverage for you. And for that, you can always go online at cbcnews.ca for more whenever you want it. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Day 19 of the election campaign has the Conservatives taking on affordable housing. Pierre Poilievre says he'll eliminate the federal sales tax on new homes. He also wants to offer financial incentives for municipalities to reduce fees on housing starts. He blames current prices on the Liberals.
Over 3 terms, the Liberal government has allowed taxes and development charges to spiral out of control, making the cost of housing even more expensive.
Poilievre says that taken together, his measures could reduce the cost of some homes by $100,000. His tax cut proposal would apply to purchases under $1.3 million. NDP leader Jagmeet Singh was in Saskatoon today, taking aim at Mark Carney. He says the Liberal leader will make deep cuts to services to balance the budget. CBC's Ashley Burke was there.
NDP leader Jagmeet Singh in Saskatoon targeting the exact same riding as the Liberals. Singh attacked leader Mark Carney, saying that he would make massive cuts, including to healthcare, to balance the country's operational spending budget within 3 years. Carney firing back, saying no, he won't cut healthcare. He has promised to maintain those transfers to the provinces, but Singh says that is a cut.
Bankers speak for maintaining spending is freezing. Freezing is a cut. If you talk about healthcare, if you freeze investments in healthcare with an aging population, with a growing population, with increased needs, and with inflation, if you freeze, that is a cut.
This battle all playing out the night after both campaigns held rallies in Saskatoon West, just a few kilometers from one another. Both parties trying to break into this province's conservative fortress that they've been shut out of in the past 2 federal elections. Singh is trying to tap into the momentum that the NDP saw provincially in the election this fall, where it had one of its best showings in over a decade. Ashley Burke, CBC News, Saskatoon.
Liberal leader Mark Carney rolled out his plan to fight crime at a campaign stop in the Toronto area. Carney pledged to compensate gun owners who are forced to give up assault-style weapons banned by the government.
We will quickly, and I mean quickly, reinvigorate the buyback of assault-style firearms and leave the classification of new firearm models to the RCMP, to the experts, not to the gun industry.
He promised to revoke gun licenses for people who have been convicted of violent offenses, including intimate partner violence. The Liberal leader says he would recruit 1,000 more RCMP workers to fight organized crime and drug and human trafficking. The Green Party is focusing on foreign policy. Co-leader Jonathan Pedneau wants to help strengthen Canada's role on the world stage.
It's a plan for foreign policy that will free us from foreign dictates, that will free us from past dependencies, and will ensure that Canadians can be once again proud to truly stand up for justice, peace, and sovereignty throughout the world.
Pedneau is seeking a global democratic alliance of nations to stand up against threats from authoritarian states. He's also promising to cancel defense contracts with billions of dollars with 2 U.S. aerospace giants. Fellow Green Party co-leader Elizabeth May spent the day campaigning in New Brunswick, pardon me. So have you decided on which party you're voting for but don't know who the local candidate is? Well, Avneet Dillon explains how to find out.
Elections Canada now has a complete list of all the candidates running in this federal election. You can look up the candidates who are running in your riding at elections.ca. Type in your postal code in the My Voter information box and click on who are the candidates in my electoral district. All candidate names and their party affiliation can be found there, along with their website and contact information. When you go to vote at your assigned polling station, their names will be printed out on your ballot, whether that's on Election Day, April 28th, or during advance polls from April 18th to April 21st. But if you're voting earlier by mail or at an Elections Canada office, you'll need to write the name of the candidate you're voting for on your ballot. A ballot with just a party name won't be counted. If you have more election questions, email us at ask@cbc.ca.
Election Day is just a few weeks away. Advance polls will be open next Thursday, and some may have already cast their vote by special ballot. But there is still time to explore the issues that matter to you. CBC Windsor wants to know what you care about the most in this election. And on our website, you'll find a voter survey. We want to hear from you about what matters to you this election. Just head to cbc.ca/Windsor to find that survey. We'll be right back. Colette Kennedy is back with us now for another look at weather. Colette, I know that we have some really nice days ahead, and you're going to tell us all about that, but we got to start with the present moment, which is just a little bit gloomy, isn't it?
Yes, yes. I've been trying to, stay positive about this, and you're right. We do have some better weather coming, but it is kind of a sloppy day, a wet day. Even when you get the light snow or the kind of rain mixing in there to end, then there's still the mist, so somewhat gloomy. The temperature is certainly cool, 2 degrees right now. Earlier in the show, I was showing you northern Ontario. We got readings around 10 degrees, double digits because there's sunshine, but here with this area of low pressure still spinning and under the influence, that's why these readings are not very impressive at all. A northeasterly wind there coming in just around 20 kilometers an hour and at times with some stronger gusts. Now, the bulk of the moisture with this has moved a little bit north and east. There's still some of this wraparound though, so still some of that mist or drizzle or showers in the vicinity. But not only that, it's been the cloud cover and that cloud deck, which is pretty stubborn. However, as we go into tomorrow, it starts to slide to the east. In fact, even beginning tonight. And with that, that's why I'm saying we're kind of really just on the line here of whether we can see, there's that clearing line, whether we can get that erosion of the cloud cover and get into some sunshine. And I am optimistic that that is happening as soon as tomorrow, but it is such a close call, and it won't be for all of southwestern Ontario. Potentially Leamington, you're still into some of the heavier clouds, over towards Chatham-Kent likely, but Sarnia to Windsor, things looking a little bit better through this corridor. So in the morning hours, I do see fewer and fewer clouds, and then as the day goes on, hoping to get more and more of that blue sky coming on through. But it is a stubborn and a bit of a slow mover when it comes to this particular system. So traveling on the weekend on Saturday, you could easily move away from the clear skies and be back into some overcast conditions. All right. Temperatures tonight, they're nearly steady around this 1 to 2 degrees where we sit right now, just dipping maybe a degree or so and then kind of coming back up once we can get into that sun. So I do have us going to double digits for tomorrow with a high of 10, looking really nice into the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. And yes, I have to bring a chance of showers back in on Monday, but that daytime high, I'm still pushing it to 20 degrees, Katerina.
Okay, thanks. Thank you so much, Colette. Appreciate it. And thanks to you all for watching. See you tomorrow.
Good night.